Sophia sighed as she scrolled through yet another profile on her dating app. She had been on a series of forgettable, if not outright terrible, dates. There was the guy who talked only about his crypto investments, the one who brought his mother to dinner, and the one who spent the entire evening texting someone else. "This is hopeless," she muttered, tossing her phone onto the couch. At 23, she had a steady job as a marketing associate in New York City, a group of supportive friends, and a love for travel. Yet, when it came to romance, she felt like she was stuck in an endless loop of disappointment. That night, she deleted her dating app. A second chance at fate. Weeks passed, and Sophia focused on herself. She spent more time at yoga classes, went on spontaneous weekend trips with her best friend, and took up painting. Love, she decided, would have to wait. But one evening, as she scrolled through her messages, an ad popped up. "Find your perfect match, now with compatibility enhancements." The dating app she had sworn off was back, tempting her with its supposed improvements. With a sigh, she re-downloaded it. "One last try," she whispered, setting up her profile once again. The next morning, as she absent-mindedly swiped through the app, a familiar face appeared. Daniel Carter. Her heart skipped a beat. Daniel had been her close friend in college. They had met in their sophomore year, bonding over long nights of studying and mutual love for indie music. They had chemistry, but the timing was never right. He had been dating someone, and she had just gotten out of a relationship. Eventually, life pulled them in different directions, and they lost touch. Curious, she hesitated before swiping right. To her surprise, a message popped up almost immediately.
"Sophia? No way. This is a sign, right?"
Their conversation flowed effortlessly, just like it had in college. They reminisced about old times, laughed about silly memories, and caught up on lost years. Daniel, now 25, had moved to the city a year ago and was working as a software engineer. He had also endured a series of disastrous dates and was about to quit the app before seeing her profile. Over the next few days, their messages turned into long calls, and long calls turned into an anticipation neither of them could ignore. Finally, Daniel asked,
"What do you say? We turn this digital reconnect ion into a real-life one?"
"I'd love that."
The first date. They chose a cozy cafe in Brooklyn, one that had live acoustic music, just like their old college haunts. As Sophia walked in, she saw Daniel before he saw her. He was sitting at a table by the window, fingers drumming against the mug in front of him, his eyes scanning the entrance. When their eyes met, a wave of nostalgia and something new, something exciting, rushed over her. She said with a grin. Daniel stood up and hugged her, the embrace warm and familiar.
"It's been too long."
The date felt like time had never passed. They talked about their careers, their dreams, and their fears. They laughed over college stories, and as the night deepened, the conversation turned more personal.
"I always wondered,"
Sophia said, tracing the rim of her cup.
"if we had met at a different time, would things have been different?"
Daniel looked at her, a soft smile forming.
"Much better."
As they stood under the streetlights, Daniel took a deep breath.
"Sophia, I know we started this thinking it was just two old friends reconnecting, but I think I'm falling for you."
Sophia's heart pounded.
"Me too."
He hesitated for only a moment before leaning in, and as their lips met, the city faded into the background. Months passed, and their relationship blossomed. What had started as a simple right swipe had turned into something real, something deep. One evening, as they lay on the couch watching a movie, Daniel chuckled.
"So, do we owe our love story to an algorithm?"
Sophia laughed, resting her head on his shoulder.
"Maybe. But I think fate had a hand in it too."
As Daniel kissed the top of her head, she realized that sometimes love wasn't about perfect timing. It was about finding the right person, no matter when or how they came into your life. And sometimes, all it took was one last swipe to get it right.